Okay, we're picking up where we left off. The last video was messed up, I guess. So again, starting with you can't get what you want. You got the area. We want the radius. We have to do a little working backwards to get to what we want. So if the area formula is pi r squared equals 9.87. We got to work backwards. It's not terrible. Just got to be careful. Divide both sides by pi, so 9.87 divided by pi. R squared equals 3.1417. You can take the square root then of that 3.1417. The more digits you keep, the more accurate it stays. So the radius is 1.77. They're asking for the radius here, so that's all we need to do. Okay. Again, the hardest problems, I think, are going from area all the way to circumference. So when we start with area and we have to get all the way to circumference, there's a little bit of a bypass route, and that is we got to get the radius. Okay, you can't just jump from area to circumference. So to get the radius, we start out the same way. Area equals pi r squared. The area is 125. R squared equals 125 divided by pi. So R squared equals 39.79. Let's just call it 79 inches. So square root now to get the next value. So the square root of 39.79. That's my radius. Not done with the problem. Make sure you understand what the problem is asking for. So the problem says find the circumference. So we just did our bypass route. We got 6.31. To find the circumference, circumference equals 2 pi r. So 2 times pi times 6.31. 2 times pi times 6.31, 39.65. Okay, and you should compare. The circumference up there was a little bit less than that because the area was a little bit more. Okay, so circumference again around the outside, area as if you had to paint the inside. This last one, area equals 75.68. That's pi r squared. We got to get to the diameter. So again, we're going to have to find the radius. So if we can find the radius, we can get the diameter. 75.68 divided by pi, 24.09. Take the square root of 24.09. R equals 4.91. So the radius is 4.91. Multiply that times 2, 9.82. Then you get diameter. So those were additional notes to put on the back of your can't always get what you want. The most difficult part of doing area and circumference is when you have to cross over those. When you just have to plug in back and forth, where you're just finding, a simple variable, that's a little bit easier. When you have to go all the way from one to the other, you need to be very careful. This was a big issue on retakes on the Unit 1 test, so we're trying to do a better job of making sure that happens.